Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about the S21 Ultra from the perspective of a Note 10 Plus user. There are already many reviews out there about the S21 Ultra, given that it's been released. It was released about more than 6 months ago. But you know, for me, I was really happy with the Note 10 Plus, and I just wanted to give you my perspective on how things worked out for me. So the primary reason why I decided to upgrade is because I am on a plan that makes it easy for me to upgrade every year. So for about 200 USD, or where I'm in Singapore, 300 SGD, I can get a new phone, a flagship spec phone. And while foldables were, well, enticing, the Z Fold 3 sold out almost immediately, so there's no way I could get it. The Flip 3 looked good, but the screen was smaller, there was no SD card slot, and actually the storage was way too low. It's 128 gigs, which is like a quarter of what my Note 10 Plus has. So decided not to get the foldables. Also, the cameras were not as good as the S21 Ultras. And then I was deciding between the S21 Ultra and the Note 20 Ultra. And after a lot of back and forth, I went to the store many times and I tried them both, and of course I watched and read reviews, decided to get the S21 Ultra because of the better camera and the faster screen refresh rate at full resolution. So yeah, right from the beginning you can see that the boxes are really different. Samsung really shrank the boxes here this time, and it was good in my opinion because while they shrank the boxes, they also shrank the price. So the S21 Ultra is not as expensive as prior flagships because they left out the charger, and other accessories like the earbuds, the wire earbuds, which is great because I never use wire earbuds. Just looking at the box over here, right? When you open it, you're greeted only by the phone, and then there's the manual, and wait, what else was there? Yeah, the manual with some. Yeah, there's a USB-C cable, so they bothered to include the USB-C cable for some reason. So yeah, that is all. So I like it. It's compact. It's slim. As for the charger, yeah, that's a bummer. But you know what? If I need a charger, I can just go buy it. I don't really, need them to give me a charger every single year. And as for the Note 10 Plus. The box is still almost brand new, as you can see. There was a charger inside. I took it out, and I'm using it now. But they also have wire earbuds that I never took out and I never used. So that is that's a valid rationale for not including wire earbuds this time. Yep. So I just want to give you a first-person view of what it looks like to use these two phones. So let me flip the camera. Okay, so I'm back. So on the left side you have the S21 Ultra, and on the right you have the Note 10 Plus. So the S Pens are here. So as you know, this one is obviously non-Bluetooth. It is by the side. It is a lot bigger and longer, and it's matte. Whereas the one in the Note is inside the body itself. It's Bluetooth, and it is a lot thinner, lighter, and glossier, and smaller. So that is the main difference. So while we're talking about the S Pens, I used the S Pen to briefly take some notes about why you should and shouldn't upgrade from the perspective of a Note 10 owner. So while this review does talk about my thoughts about the S21 Ultra, I also wanted to give you a more accurate representation of the facts from, not the facts, my opinions as a former Note 10 Plus user. So wait, let me just tweak the brightness a bit, and so you can see it more clearly right here. Okay, so going into the Notes app, okay, so I wrote here the reasons to upgrade. So if you want to upgrade to the S21 Ultra, there are a couple of reasons why. Right, it has a better screen refresh rate. So this one it has a 120 hertz refresh rate at full resolution. So unlike the Note 20 Plus, Note 20 Ultra, you don't have to make it full HD. You can keep it at 2K. I think it's around 2K resolution, and it's fine. And there's the S Pen, right? So the S Pen here is a lot more comfortable to write on. It feels much more like a real pen. It's one side is sort of flattened, and the other side is rounded, which is fine. And there's a bad part about it, but I'll get to that later once I go to the next screen. But the processor is marginally faster, so you can see that. I'll do a demo later, but the processor on this one is about, if you open apps, it's like a split second, half a second, or 1 second faster than this one. And if you play games, I don't really play games on Android. I don't really like Android games, but if you play games, you can see that the loading screen is marginally faster as well. The camera is a lot better. This one is hands down, the S21 Ultra wins. I much prefer the selfie camera on this one as well, because it goes up to 40 megapixels, and there's a main shooter that goes up to 108 megapixels, so much higher resolution and quality. 5G, this is out of the box, it's 5G, whereas the Note 10 Plus is mainly a 4G phone. There is a more expensive 5G variant, but I think that's in the minority. So 5G is standard here. And the battery life for me is slightly better. I've used it for about 2 weeks, but I noticed that I haven't run the battery totally down, but it gives me about 2 to 3 more hours screen on time for this one than on this, obviously, because they didn't need to fit a pen inside, so the battery life on the newer phone is better. Now, so going back to the S Pen, this S Pen is non-Bluetooth. So because it is non-Bluetooth, you can't use it to take pictures or release a shutter. You can't use it to scroll through pictures as you would with this. This one has air gestures, so you can do clockwise sort of motions and anti-clockwise, and swipe left, swipe right in the air and not touch the screen. And you can use this, and you can use this as a shutter, as a remote control as well, which is great. But for the remote control portion of it, you can easily, in the stock Android app, you can just open and close your fist, or say cheese or something like that, to get the camera to release by itself. So I think that is not really useful for me. I mean, to me it sounds like a gimmick. But the best part about this S Pen that's in the body is that because it is in the body, it makes a phone much thinner and lighter than this one, where you have to carry a case, and the case is much thicker. As you can see, this is the official Samsung case. I have the speaking case as well, but it is about 50% thicker in my opinion. So, yeah. And also, on the other end of it, when you take out the S Pen, you can immediately start writing, which is great. Then there's a black screen coming up, and you immediately start writing, and it's so useful. Whereas this one, there's none of that. So, yeah. But for actual writing, this is way better. Ultimately, it's up to you. It's a very subjective thing here. The processor is marginally faster. So if you open and close some apps, you can see that this one is faster. For example, I wanna go to this one right here. So I see this one opens up slightly faster. If I wanna go to Starbucks, yep, this one launches faster as well. And say if I wanna go to a dictionary, this one launches slightly faster as well. So yeah, DJI Ronin app, this launches way faster. Yeah, but it's a slight difference. I mean, unless you're comparing these side by side, you're not really gonna notice like a huge difference. Yeah, well, I pushed this earlier than that, so yeah. So that is the main thing here. And as for games, let me launch a game so you can see. Let's launch Grid Autosport. Oh, this is not good. That is not a good example, but maybe let's try, I don't know, let's try Crash. And you can see it loads like maybe 2 seconds faster. Right, so I wouldn't say that the faster processor is a must, because in the real world use, I really don't notice it, unless I'm comparing it side by side like I am here. Okay, now as for the much better camera, you can see that. If I go to the camera app, and right from the beginning you can see that, well, there's more contrast on this side. Wait, let me just show you some pictures that I took just now. So this is my awkward selfie, but you can see that there's a little bit more detail in the hair over here as compared to this one, and the eyebrows as well. Now if I move to the previous photo I took of my door, right, the lines on my door look a lot more realistic. I mean, this is closer to real life than this one, even though this is still really good. I know it's nitpicking, but you can really see the difference in texture. This one right here too, there's more dynamic range, even though this seems brighter, but I'm trying to say this, but wait, oh, this one seems clearer for some reason. I'm not sure why. Not sure why. Alright, so this is the 10x zoom. So this goes much closer than this one. So this one has an extra zoom lens. As you can see here, there's a lot more texture over right here. I'm not sure if you can see this on the screen, but yeah, there is more like texture compared to this version here. Same thing, I can hardly make out the lines on my sofa compared to this one where the lines and the creases and the place where I sat is all clearly marked out, just like my own eyes see it. Yeah, you see the rug over here. This part, the newer phone, shows my footprints and all the creases much more clearly than the older one, and also the floor. If you look at the flooring as well, this one is way clearer than this one. Again, you're not going to notice unless you compare them side by side, as I am doing. Prior to buying this, I didn't even know that this was not that clear. I thought this took pretty clear photos already. So it's something to note here. Yep, same thing here. Is a texture issue here. This is just way clearer. And if you flip going back to the camera app, you can see that, you can see that there are 4 lenses here. So obviously this is going to be a bit more versatile. And the main lens has 108 megapixels compared to this one here so this can go like really high resolution if you want it to. And if you go around to the selfie camera, the same thing goes for the selfie camera. This goes up to 40 megapixels, and this is a little bit washed. This just has less detail. Alright, going back to my notes. Okay, so this is a much better camera. This is 5G. This is better battery life. However, I was really kind of hesitant to get this because of no micro SD card slot. So where I am right now, the store is sold out of the 512 gig variant, and this one is 256 internal and 256 micro SD cards. So this is 512 gigs. So essentially for me, this is a downgrade. I couldn't get the higher storage version. So having a micro SD card slot is better on the older phone. Now, obviously this is much older. It's older by a year and a half, but so you can obviously notice that price is also a lot lower. And this is also thinner and lighter. Holding these, I can really feel the difference in weight. I mean, I'd much rather put this in my back pocket than this one. So what happens is that now I have two phones. I still use this at home, and maybe I might bring it outside. I might bring this for traveling when travel opens up again as a backup phone, just because it is so thin and light and so easy to carry around with me. Yeah, and that's why I like both. However, if you only had to choose one, and you know, if you're trying to upgrade from an even older phone, you're wondering whether or not this is worth the upgrade, I would say if you have the cash, go for this one. But if not, this is equally good, because it's not really an upgrade. I would say it's a sideways kind of thing. So the key question here is, which one do you upgrade to, right? If you're coming from an older phone, and if the cost is an issue, I would say the Note 10 Plus is still a really good phone, especially if you can get it at a steep discount compared to the S21 Ultra. However, if you're, you know, looking for the best camera phone, the fastest processing speed, then go for this one. It's the same processor as the foldables that just came out. So yeah, I wouldn't say though that this is a 100% upgrade over this. It's certainly not. There are lots of ways, especially in terms of the weight, the bulk, that I just prefer to carry this around with you, just because it is so much thinner. Especially if you want the S Pen with you, even if you don't want the S Pen, this phone is a lot thicker and heavier than this one, just because of the internals. So ultimately it's your choice, but yeah, I don't think that if my contract had not sort of given me an outlet to upgrade, I would have upgraded anyway, because for the first time I don't feel the need to upgrade this. There's not that noticeable an improvement on the outside, and all the improvements are internal, and except for the camera, they are all pretty marginal. So yeah, that's it for my thoughts on this. It's not a very scientific review, but I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.